All right, the intro starts on a F sharp minor power chord. It's really just a power chord, so it's not neither major nor minor. And we're going to be using palm muting, and that's really it until that kind of lead line comes in. Do that for a number of measures, and then this comes in, and it actually comes in as a different guitar. This continues to go, and then in the original recording they overdubbed this other part. But for the purposes of jamming, we're going to teach that section at least as one part. So the lead line that comes in before the lyrics come in goes like this. All right, so let's break this down. We start on the 4th fret on our G string, fingers 1 and 2, 5th fret B string, and we're just going to be playing an interval of a 4th. And there's a little bit of flexibility here. You could play this shape or this, but what I'm hearing is just those two notes. Then you come down here and you fret a B major chord, double bar. Make sure you get that 3rd in there because you want that suspended 4th to the 3rd sound to come through. Once you've got that down, you transition to that minor, or that F sharp power chord. So 3, 4. That's the first part. Now, when you go to this little transitional riff, this happens a number of times in slightly different variations throughout the song. So what you want to do is take your first finger and on fret 2 with your on strings D and G, you want to play those twice, and then come over with your second finger and hit your F sharp note. Then with your 4th finger, usually with your 4th finger you'd be doing this, but we're going to do it with our 1st finger this time. Slide up so that we can be in position to repeat the riff. So that's going to look like this. 2, 0 on your low E string, 2, back up to 2 on your 2 higher strings, back down to your low E, and then you're in position to repeat the riff. So let me play it again from the top slowly so you can just get how all those pieces fit together. Now the last part of this repeats that little riff, except for this time you're going to use your pinky to finger it so that we can go right back into the F sharp chord. So 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, then 4, 4th fret on your D and G strings, and then I'm gonna keep my pinky there, and then immediately I'm going to bring the F sharp power chord back in. So that's worth practicing a little bit if you have trouble going from that to this. So that the back half's going to look like this. And you want to make sure that you're getting this low F sharp note picked every time. That's sometimes kind of hard to do when you've got this rhythm down here on the higher strings, and then you're having to come back up. I'm using mainly downstrokes to do this, and that seems to give me the force and the energy I need. You're not playing anything super fast here, so you don't have to worry about alternate strumming for the most part. So let's listen to that intro in its entirety one more time, and then we'll move on. there you have it. So the verses in this song are pretty simple, based around the F-sharp power chord and palm muting, basically. And then we're going to be accenting in certain places, pulling fingers off to create this little riff based around the F-sharp chord. So you're going to start right when the vocals come in. You've got that syncopated drum fill, and then you're going to land on the F-sharp chord. And you're not going to do any palm muting until you come around to that riff. Okay, so then when you come in, after you've let that chord ring a little bit, you're going to do this pattern. So it's going to be open, followed by 2 palm mutes, and then another open. Then you're going to take your 3rd finger off. So you've got that chord. That would be 2, 2, 4 from 6th to 4th strings. So it's going to sound like this. So there's a couple more palm mutes, and then you strike this with an accent. Then you're going to hammer back on to the 4th fret with your 3rd finger. And keep those all accented without palm muting. Then, the next step you're going to do over here is you're going to take your 1st finger off so that your low E string is open. And then put your 1st finger back on. So you've got your 3rd finger off, hammer back on, 1st finger off, hammer back on. So put together, that's going to sound like this. So make sure you're getting your palm mutes down and that there's a huge difference between what you're doing palm muting wise and open, so you can get those accents. And on the original recording, this track is doubled, so you've got that big monstrous sound coming from both sides of the speakers. So as you're experimenting with this, it'll probably sound a little bit smaller than you hear it on the recording, but if you get a chance to jam with the backing track and do some recording of your own, you can always double it and hear more of the original sound. So that is the verse. Let's move on to the chorus. The chorus is divided up into 2 different parts. You've got your power chords that happen, they're syncopated before the 1 of every beat, and then you've got that more standard hooky riff that's been going throughout some of the intro and will be going out of the outro also. So let's look at the first section first. Really pretty simple. If you're comfortable with power chords, this is a breeze. Starts with an F-sharp power chord. Then it goes up to a D power chord. And that's going to be on your 5th fret, 5, 7, 7. Then your 2nd fret, a B power chord, 2, 4, 4. Back down to the F sharp. Then the second time it goes around, you go F sharp, D, B, then to a C sharp. And at this point, you're going to strum a number of downstrokes until you wind up on that riff again. Now, the thing to remember here, as I said before, you're not playing on the 1 of every beat. You're playing just before it. And you can hear it in the drum accents when you're playing along with the track. But, if you're doing 1, 2, 3. So you're ahead of the beat as you're doing that. So make sure as you're counting that, you're keeping a pulse with your foot. and you're getting into that groove or playing along with the track or the click or whatever. So next, we go to a modified version of that intro riff. So we're just going to start grooving with the drums here, and this is where he starts singing, "You've Got Another Thing Coming." So we'll pick it up from here on the C sharp. Okay, that it's going to be the same thing where you've got 2 on your D and G strings, and you've got your 2 also with your on your 6th string. But you're going to strum less. You're going to hold on the 2. So before going to the 4. So, and you're also going to palm mute your low F sharp. So it almost sounds like 2 guitar parts. Let me play that slower. So notice I'm holding this out, I'm not strumming it any extra, I'm also not going back down to my low string again as much as I'm just holding this note, and then I'm going back down to the low string. Okay, now going out of that, we borrow from the same kind of phrasing that we had coming out of the intro into the verse. So that's going to be 2, 0, 2, 2, 2 on your low string, and then 4th finger on your D and G strings, and then we're going to fret that F sharp bar chord again. And then we go back into the verse. This verse, the second verse, is exactly like the first verse. So there's really no new information there. Make sure you step it up in intensity just a little bit, try to match what the vocals are doing, and you'll be in good shape. Next, we're going to go on to looking at the bridge, because the chorus following is also very similar to the first. So once you've kind of figured out the first one, you're good. So we're going to go to the bridge, and then we'll get to the solo, which is the most fun part of the song.